What's up, everybody? Let's talk Real Housewives of Atlanta. Another spin around the block. Season 9, episode 4. Them ladies were wild and crazy. And some people said this episode was boring. I found it intriguing. This season, Real Housewives of Atlanta is really touching on a lot of subjects that I can relate to. Number one, they did address something that I thought that was very important that we as females really need to stop doing. And I know some of my friends, especially some of my stand-up friends, would use the term, but bitch, it needs to stop. It really does, because Kenya Moore did refer to Sheree Whitfield as a bitch when she said, "No bitch is going to tell me about baseboards in my house." Well, heifer, I'm here to tell you, you need baseboards in your house and some crown molding too. But I just felt like, because Phaedra said, "Oh my God, you really enjoy using that word." And Kenya goes, "What? I didn't call her a bitch. I said, ain't no bitches going to be telling me what to do." And she was like, "Well, what do you call it then?" And she says, "I was speaking in generalities." No, you called her the B word. I'm sorry. You just did. And then she called her a hoe too. I was just like that. I don't know. But let me start from the top about Real Housewives of Atlanta. When we opened up in this episode, we have Cynthia and Noelle playing tennis, but they ain't no Venus and Serena, bless their hearts. And Noelle is Cynthia's 16-year-old daughter. She is a mini Cynthia. She is a gorgeous girl. She is the child of Leon Robinson and Cynthia Bailey, honey. Now, she ain't as tall as her mama and daddy, but she got the look. The mouth, on the other hand, is a little bit too curt for me, and I think a little bit too comfortable. But who am I to judge how people raise their children? But I do think that a little smack in the mouth would be okay, because she was a little, I don't know. We're having a mother-daughter day, which I think is very important, considering that Cynthia's life is just turned all the way upside down, with her about to go through the divorce with Peter. And the fact that Noelle was privy to the trouble that was going on in the marriage, because I guess her bedroom was right next to theirs. It was just really nice. Cynthia and her have a heart-to-heart. They talk about her becoming the face of a new line of products that Cynthia is prepared to release called Cargo. Now, I have not seen Cargo on the shelves, but there is apparently a store here in LA on Rodeo that's selling it, or somewhere in LA. Let me not say Rodeo, but I went on their website and they didn't have any Cargo. Maybe it's just sold in store. But Noelle is going to be a little model. I said that's a good way for her to get her college education paid for and start a nice little trust fund, since Peter done drained all your money, Cynthia. I'm just being real. But Noelle is not fully engaged, and I think that because she probably is a little bit privileged and a little bit spoiled, perhaps that is why she thinks that, oh, this is no big deal. My mom's a model and my dad's an actor, and so I'm totally going to be okay. People will like me because. And that's great that your parents can lead the way for you, but at the same time, your mom is trying to give you an opportunity to, number one, earn your own way, and also to learn the business. I think it can be beneficial. So she goes to LA. Noelle, first of all, wants to go to college in LA, which Cynthia is now talking about. Oh, maybe I can move to LA too. And I'm like, that might not be such a bad thing, because what is there really left in Atlanta for you? I mean, other than heartache and other 808s, as Kanye would say, and an empty bank account. I'm just saying. But during this episode, we see that Noelle is not engaged. Cynthia has given her the rundown on what is expected for this presentation at this fashion bazaar that they're attending. And Noelle is too busy in her phone, as are most people. I'm not just going to say most kids, most people. Prime example, last week, I went to go check my mail, and I saw this couple walking down the street, and both of them, cell phones, just I said, are y'all on Periscope? You on Facebook Live? I mean, I think honestly you should have a GoPro on it at any given time in downtown Long Beach anyways, because shit, you never know what could happen. Hell, today I thought this white man had his window rolled down, was getting ready to tell us he voted for Trump. He decided to put on some music real loud and lip sync for us. I said, oh, all right, go ahead, Long Beach. But back to the story at hand. Noelle can't wear heels. She's not ready for that life yet. She told my feet hurt. I don't feel like walking. So Cynthia was like, well, hell, my feet hurt. And then, of course, Daddy Leon, that told me, oh, but the baby, you know, you used to it. But she's not. I'm just like, oh, my God. But I love the family dynamic. I love the fact that they seem to be great co-parents. But then they go to dinner, and that night, that's when Cynthia starts boo-hooing and crying. Noelle leaves them, and she says, well, I think it was a very good bonding experience for us, Mom. And I was like, where did she get this child from? Oh my God, she's too divalicious for me. But she leaves and goes to the Bryson Tiller concert. That's when her and Leon have a heart-to-heart. Leon asks her, why is it that I know you always call about Noelle, but why don't you ever call and check on me? How come you don't call me anymore? Hey, I was like, because she married. But, I mean, I know y'all, okay. Whatever. So that's when he asked how is Peter. This was, Jesus, Peter and I get a divorce. It's just over. It's horrible. Oh my God, it's been horrible since day one. But I just wanted to marry him because, oh my God, I wanted to prove a point. I didn't want anybody. I was like, girl, see, that's your first mistake. Trying to please others. But Leon made a good point too. I said, okay, Buddha, go ahead. Confucius say. He said that basically you spend a lot of time building you. Peter spent a lot of time building himself and you. I was like, no, Peter spent a lot of time acquiring assets out of her bank accounts and portfolios. But either way, the bottom line is they didn't spend a lot of time building each other and coming together and truly becoming one. So that's the end of the story. Cynthia crying, talking about her eyelashes falling off, and she need to get up and go back to the hotel. I was like, is Leon going to the hotel? What's going on here? You ain't got no papers yet. I know y'all got a child, but you ain't got no papers yet. So that's Cynthia's storyline pretty much. Up next, Candy and Blockhead and Mama Joyce. I find it interesting that Mama Joyce is truly not into being grandma. Wait a minute, let me back it up. Let me talk about Sheree real quick. Sheree and Bob Whitfield. First of all, Chateau Sheree is complete. The only thing, it is finished but unfurnished, which I keep emphasizing to Kenya that it would be better to have a finished house that's unfurnished than a furnished house that is unfinished. That's kind of ass backwards to me. Your new shit getting all dusty and dirty and then you have to pay somebody to come in and clean it. It just don't seem safe and it doesn't make any sense. But that's on you, Kenya Moore. So Sheree has her kids, Cairo. Okay, y'all, I shouldn't be looking at no 19-year-old boy like this, but... And shout out to Cairo for liking my tweets about him. But anyways, he has turned into a fine young man. And if you go to his Twitter, he does have a Twitter, Cairo Whitfield. You can check that out. He needs some more followers, ladies. So far, he's only at like 100 or something. Anywho, he was like walking through the house talking about, I'm so hungry, mama. Is this your food? Can I eat it? I was like, ooh, if he don't sound like my cousins when they used to be over to the house when we were growing up, especially the boys. So she gathers them around and they talk about the fact that the house is finished. And Cairo is looking at her like, but Mama, I'm getting my own apartment. And soon Callie will be at the house. So it still, to me, does not follow logic as to why Sheree is building this house. But I think Sheree really thought that she would get the house done in a year. And then they would all have some time to live there. Plus, honestly, I don't think Cairo is going to be having any kids anytime soon. or, you know, Callie or any, maybe her oldest daughter will, but to me it just doesn't follow logic. They asked, well, what about Bobby? I said, she was like, who? What about Bob? I said, no, what about Bob? Jesus, Bill Murray. Oh, Lord. No, they were talking about their daddy. Because Callie was like, well, is daddy going to move in? She was like, no, we taking baby steps. Lord, these baby steps are something else. So he takes her out on a date. It was like Beauty and the Beast, okay? Sheree dressed to the nines, and Bob looked like he had went down to the everything $5.99 and under store. That's what it looked like. I was just like, really, Bob? You know how she is. And just like somebody else said, I don't know if it was Alex Rogers or was it Miss P? Somebody said, you know, basically, maybe y'all should have coordinated y'all's outfits. Is it casual, business casual, we going out? Because she was like, you know, I like seafood. He done took her to talking about the Loving Hut vegan because he's supposedly gone vegan. Then he in there joking and cracking jokes. Bob is another one. He don't know how to just be. He just likes to crack jokes all the time. But that's fine. I'm one of those too. I get a laugh. It's not because I feel any type of way. I'm just naturally goofy. But needless to say, I am glad that he finally conceded to the fact that he apologized. And when he said this, I almost fell out of my chair. He said, I apologize for stepping out on you with multiple marital affairs. What was his specific word? He said, all the times I cheated on you, I'm sorry for the extramarital affairs. And he's also sorry for how he handled the divorce and the treating of his kids and all this stuff. So I think that Sheree finally feels vindicated. And I feel like maybe if they are going to move back to a husband-wife dynamic or a significant other, domestic partner, whatever it is they want to be, I think that now the air has been cleared. And if Bob continues to be on the straight and narrow, even if his right eye ain't straight, he can, you know, they can move ahead. So that pretty much was Sheree's storyline. Phaedra and Kenya hanging out again. Why? I don't know. But I think in some ways Phaedra feels like maybe if I hang out with Kenya, maybe I can help Crazy Kenya because you know Crazy's best bud. That's what she said today. So Kenya is expressing how she was disappointed in the fact that when they went to the mystery room that Portia really didn't address her anger management. And I really wanted her to talk about it since she has violent tendencies. How about you have the tendency to prompt people to want to clock you in the head one good time and drag you? I'm just saying. Phaedra was like, she's not a Ric Flair. She's not a threat to anyone. She's just, you know, she's just trying to do better. When you left there, you didn't get battered and bruised, did you? And she was like, no. Then Phaedra, of course, earlier I addressed the other part of the conversation, which was talking about the fact that Kenya likes to refer to people like Sheree and possibly others too, because I can't remember, but she called Sheree a bitch and a hoe in the course of their conversation that they had. Kenya, of course, denies the fact that she called her directly. She says she's speaking in generalities, but whatever, you called her a bitch. Either way you slice and dice it, you did. Phaedra has the Phaedra Foundation. If you notice, she's kind of always been kind of an advocate in the community, especially when she got married and had male children, and she realized the importance and significance. But I'm pretty sure that Phaedra probably has always been very, very active in the community, especially when it comes to issues of the Black community. So she says she wants to do a fundraiser for Flint, Michigan, which y'all, by the way, I don't know if y'all are aware, Flint still has dirty water. The crisis is not over. The crisis won't be over for quite a few years because the pipes are so corroded and polluted and poisoned. It's going to take millions and millions of dollars to fix the infrastructure for those pipes. So anytime you want to complain about certain things, just think about the people in Flint and the kids. Just think about that. I have to remind myself that. But not even that. If there's anything that we can do, I definitely am going to try to research and see what we can do for the people of Flint, as well as even the people in that Louisiana town, which I still haven't looked up the name. But either way, shout out to Phaedra for doing a damn good thing, because that is a good thing, because she wants to do a camp for the kids that have been affected, but she needs to raise funds to make that happen. So she decides to get the ladies together so that they can make that happen. But I think also she wanted to talk to Kenya. King is excited. Phaedra plans to do in conjunction with the YMCA, and King is like, well, maybe I can teach him how to dance or teach him how to act like a lady in public. I was like, basically, we should just watch a tape of you, and then we can learn how not to, or just in general, just write, just show what happened in the table read y'all had after laser tag. That's how you don't act in public, okay? But I thought that was cute. So that's going to be good as long as they can get together and keep the peace. Well, Phaedra decided to do something fun, team building exercise, laser tag. Everybody comes, except for Cynthia, of course, but Kenya and brought Mal in her place. I said, I guess Mal is Cynthia for the day. Candy brought Lena. Lena told me I should have wore my cross today. I said, Jesus be offense is what you might need dealing with these crazy ladies. So they play laser tag. When Sheree shows up, though, she told me I'm going to shoot some bitches. I was like, and Kenya like, what you talking about? I was like, see, only hit dogs hollering. You didn't holler, but that look on your face said I'm guilty of using that term. So they had a great day at laser tag, even though Sheree spent her time stalking Kenya. But then there was the round table discussion that turned into a table read. So Phaedra lays it out. I want to do a fundraiser under the Phaedra Foundation for the kids affected by the Flint water crisis. I want to do a camp. I think each of you ladies have something to offer. Lena, you selling clothes. I want to do a pop-up shop. So Lena, you can sell your clothes. Kenya, you can sell your hair products. And if the people don't want to use on their hair, I heard it's safe for the pets. Kenya talking about, so I guess you'll be using on your hair. Phaedra was like, I'm going to let you have that one. And then Sheree talking about, what? You know, I do have my little dog. I can put it on my dog. Okay. So, you know, she just goes around the table. What is it? Portia sells hair. She sells bundles. Kenya, okay, so we got Kenya hair products. Oh, Sheree. She said, Sheree, you can sell pictures, and she talking about and some t-shirts. And then that's when Kenya was in her confessional talking about, oh, so that's why it took her 5 years selling who gonna check me boo t-shirts. Whatever. I was like, shit, I still don't have one, and I want one. I know she was still selling. I like those t-shirts. I think that's cool. I have a Phaedra Parks one that I got when she was here for the Women's Expo in LA that says, fix it Jesus, hashtag fix it Jesus. I love that. I use that term too. And bedroom candy. Of course, everyone is so like, oh my God, we're going to sell penises for kids. That's what Portia says. I'm like, kids aren't going to even be at the fundraiser. The fundraiser is for the adults. The money the adults give are going to be for the kids. So if you can get some money from selling some sex toys, which, by the way, I heard is a very lucrative business. Hell, at this point, I'm going to have to start looking into something. So that might be a good alternative. I'm just saying. Adults need love, too, even if it's self-love. Okay? That's when shit hits the fan because Phaedra says, I just want to make sure that you and Sheree are going to get along, Kenya. And that's when they start firing off shots and popping and bullets were flying, words. And it was like the Furious Five. So they said, oh, everything's fine. And that, you know, during the conversation, Kenya said, the only problem I have is the fact that you had a lot to say about me and my house and the fact that I'm a hoe and all this stuff. And she talking about, well, you know, you didn't even finish that part of the conversation because you ran off. I didn't run away. Sheree was like, okay, fine. You power walked away. And that's when everybody was like, Candy over there eating and stuff in her face. Kenya was getting annoyed. What the hell are y'all doing? Put that shit down. I was like, oh my God, she's having an Arsenio Hall Harlem Nights meltdown. Okay, what is going on over here? Sheree said that Kenya gives a whole new meaning to Dirty South. Po thing. She said, po child, all that giving out, all that cookie, and she still ain't nowhere in Hollywood. I was like, goddamn, I was like on the Z list. Kenya got mad when Sheree said, you still wearing them colored contacts. I said, oh, she got your ass. Kenya said that Sheree needs to take her meds before she be talking to her. I said, the only person that needs to be taking meds is you, because you're the one that seems a little bipolar. But that's another thing that Phaedra said, and I think that's why Phaedra is willing to give Kenya another try, is because Kenya said, I know she done had a bad childhood, so maybe I can help her out, basically, is what she was saying. That's when Kenya did the ultimate. Candy Burris is sitting right next to you. She's like, I know you ain't trying to talk with that old tired ass Mama Joyce wig you be wearing. I was like, oh. Candy was like, wait a minute, what you ain't gonna do is talk about my mom, not my mom. I was like, oh shit. Why would you say that? Are you mad because Candy was over that stuff? And that's when Candy was like, I'm so over this shit. And so Candy was also like, everybody been a hoe. You been a hoe, I've been a hoe, you been a hoe, everybody get a hoe. I was like, God damn Oprah of bedroom Candy. Okay. So needless to say, I hope that this pop-up shop works out, because Sheree, and like Lena said, it's about the kids. Will they ever get along? Comment down below. Do you think that it's possible for Sheree and Kenya to ever get along? Is this just good for a good storyline? Okay, so I think I've covered everyone, and I wanted to save this one for last. Candy, Mama Joyce, Block, Riley. Here's the deal. And I've said it before. I've heard other people say it too. When you lay down with somebody and you procreate with them, I think many of us should be a little bit more sure about who it is that we're laying down with. Because if a child comes out of that, you are stuck with that individual for the life of the child, or their life, or yours. However long anyone's life and being is, you are tied. Mama Joyce, I guess, Candy had said this before about her mama. Her mama really isn't interested in grandparenting, like the babysitting and all that stuff. But Candy convinces her mom, apparently in this episode, to watch Ace. And Ace has the most high-tech little bouncer. I said, oh my God, that is so cool. Can they make one for an adult? I would totally rock it. But Ace seems to be the most calmest, coolest. He's just chilling, okay? But Mama Joyce talking about, I hope I'm getting paid for this. And Candy's like, I already paid for your house. And I'm like, and the irony of this is that, they start talking about Block and the fact that he hasn't paid child support. The funniest shit that Mama Joyce said was, we need to get LLC. That's a lien, license, or cash. Other than that, we don't need to talk. She talking about, well, Candace, you know that you always be letting people take advantage of you. I was like you, Mama Joyce, like how you fucked up that house and like Candy had to repair it and get it ready to be sold or rented out. And then she bought you a whole other house and furnished it. You do kind of take advantage of your daughter. And I think that Candy has more than extended herself. Candy, please don't beat me. I'm just okay. Don't beat me, Candy. I love you. I love you, girl. So they talking about the fact that Block be on the radio talking about he love the kids and all this stuff, but yet Candy was like, I always wanted to put him on blast and just be like, you don't even take care of your own child. Why are you lying? You don't even pay child support. Like, but you just one of them moms where it's like, I figure vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I'll let God take care of him. And then Mama Joyce was like, well, he need to pay child support. Meanwhile, she's talking about, I would have said it. You need to pay child support. I was like, oh my God. But then they show Ace just chilling in the background. Like, is this my grandma? I really don't want her to be my grandma. Block does make a phone call, though, eventually in this episode, because after Mama Joyce did such a wonderful job of babysitting Ace, Candy decides, well, I'm not going to pay my mama, but I'm going to treat her to this little $20 manicure. On the ride, they get a call. But wait a minute, let me back up. Before they get the call, Mama Joyce talking about, I just discovered that I like drinking wine. I like that Moscato, that's what they call it. I was like, in other words, Candy, she need for you to go down to Costco and get that 60-pack that you can be used as a gift set and go on down there and get that for her so she can be sipping Stella Rosa. Okay? And I said, well, if Mama Joyce is just now discovering wine, because that's what she made it sound like, I was like, what the hell have you been drinking all this time? Scotch? Scotch on the rocks. Scotch and soda? I mean, what you been drinking? Blanc calls some, he want co-parent. Co-who? That should have been going on when she was still in diapers and pacifiers, okay? Because she's 14 almost. Do you honestly think you can co-parent? You need to reach out to Riley and establish a relationship. Then he gets crunked. I ain't gonna be chasing nobody. And I was like, okay. And I think he must really be sweet on Chris Kelly. And so I think that's one of the main reasons why he's being pushed to reestablish a relationship with his daughter. Honestly, I hope it works out. I hope that Riley opens up and that he does, in fact, become a good father. It's possible, but it's going to take some prayer. Once again, Candy was crying, so we had 2 down this week. We had Cynthia and Candy. They were crying. Lord, Cynthia's bank account is dry, and Candy is hurting for her child because the daddy he ain't no good. Next week, we see that someone is asking Kenya, but I think it was Cynthia was on the phone asking her about Matt, how her relationship was. She said Matt just be up sometimes knocking walls and shit. I said, do he need to go down to the VA? Because it sounds like he got PTSD to me. I'm just saying, did he see any action in the Marine Corps, or is it just PTSD from the training? Frickin' frack Portia and Phaedra down to the DNC. I'm with her. Cairo done got in trouble. Baby, let me tell you some, Cairo. If you watching this, baby, don't get it twisted now. You can't be driving and high. Okay, that ain't right. We don't want no DUI. Just say no. Maybe Aunt Phaedra. I hope Aunt Phaedra can get that expunged off your record. Phaedra says she's going to go see Apollo to get her divorce finalized. Then Phaedra's former client, and I forgot to look that article up because it came up this summer that this dude showed up at her office and he had a song that we all knew. Live, right on, live. Get on. I think that was it. So let me look this up real quick. He came to the office with a grenade and was going to blow it up. Here it is. Terrence Cook, a.k.a. Drama. That was his name. Remember, he had that song, live, right on, live. Get on up. Let me tell you something. People be laughing at Phaedra, talking about, oh, she's not a good attorney, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. You got cases you can win. You got cases you can't. When I used to work for this small law firm, when I was clerking in law school, we had a dude. My friend Kelly did all she could for this family case. Now, dude, you just got out of prison for trying to blow up a mosque. Okay. He came to the law office and threatened to blow up the law office because he couldn't get custody of his kids. Okay, case in point. This is why you can't get custody of your kids. First of all, you obviously got anger management issues. And number 2, you have an obsession with blowing up stuff. Who gonna give you some kids? Who gonna? So I'm just saying, keep that in mind, y'all, before y'all start judging, laughing, and sniggling that maybe Phaedra did all she could for the case. Or it says she was removed as counsel. And I don't know, when you say removed as counsel, I don't know if she petitioned the court to be removed because maybe he was a difficult client. I don't know what the details are on that. So that's what's coming up next week. And I will see you all next week so we can talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 5, honey. And also, I do want to give a special shout out. Thank you, Bravo, for using my tweet from last week's episode. You did a social edition right before this one, and you used my camel toe comment. Because camel toes are not in. They are not in. Moose knuckle, deer hoof, no, none of that shit is in. It's not cute. Don't nobody want to see the imprint of the female vagina. Just like I really don't need to see no eggplant or cucumber or whatever you working with, okay? Good night.